Hey friends, welcome back to another video in our series, Dear Homemakers of America, Dear Future Homemakers of America. These videos are going to be for future generations, or maybe current generations, people that are going to set up their home, people that are going to venture out on their own, and they want to know, like, what do I do? Like, maybe you've never been taught the skills. No shame. I think my generation, we grew up, our parents our moms did everything, and we kind of came into homemaking and had to kind of figure things out. There was no internet. There was not a lot of homemaking books out there. There was not a whole lot. So I know for myself, I'm a mom of 10 children, and I have been home most all the time except the first couple years, and then we decided to have me be home, and then I have gone through this homemaking journey for quite some time, and I'm almost 50, so it's been a while, almost 30 years. And so I've got a few things that I've learned over the years. Have I figured everything out? Absolutely not. Many others can pave the way and say so much more, but I feel like I've got a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of wisdom to share with you. So thank you for being here. So today we're literally stepping outside, if you've noticed here. We're going to be talking about things that you're going to need for, like, your garage, your outside, your repairs, things like that for your home. Now, maybe this is going to be for homemakers, that maybe you're married, right? And your husband's gone all the time working, and you've got a few small things that you can do in your home. If you as the wife can help out a little bit, awesome. I know there's a whole push to, like, you can't do, that's his job, that's not my job. You know what? Marriage is a everybody kind of jump in and help kind of thing. Works so much better than, I'm never going to do that, I'm not going to touch that. And also, ladies, you can expand a little bit of your skills. I know that I have learned a whole lot over the years. I'm definitely not very like, I can do some things. I can do some things with the tools and that, but definitely you don't want me building you any furniture from scratch. I can put it together really well, but build it, and even then I still have to take it apart and do it again sometimes. But doing some skills on your own, it's a good thing to have under your belt. Or maybe you're venturing out on your own and this is all new to you and you want to know, what do I buy? And you just go to the store and buy a big giant toolbox full of all these things, and you really don't need all that stuff. I have learned, we have moved many times over the last 30 years, and I've had to size down, get rid of, and not take with me. And so I've had to learn what is very essential and what is not. What will you actually use and what won't you use? And so this is for you. Or maybe you found yourself in a situation where you're on your own now and you got to figure out what to do. Maybe you don't have a male person in your life that can help you with these tasks. Or maybe you're a woman and you're awesome at these things. Then I say awesome, then this is probably not for you. These are for those ladies that are that's not your skill set normally. So I want to help you with a few things that I have learned over the years. Now, if you've moved into an apartment complex where you don't have to take care of anything outside of your yard and all that, then that's great. Then some of these things you will not need, and sometimes you can call people to come fix those. But I'm going to talk about a few things that you could get that are going to help you with just a few simple tasks in your home, in your apartment. Maxine's barking. Don't mind the dog. That will help you. Her friends are outside next door, so they gotta go meet each other at the fence. So just a few things that you can purchase that can help you and save you some money, because you're not going to have to purchase a lot of them. Let's talk, what tools do you actually need in your home? Now, this is going to vary based on your skill set. So I'm going to take it from a standpoint of, like, very minimal. My husband has a lot of tools. He is a hands-on fixer kind of guy. You need something done, he will figure it out how to do it. He will do this and do that and make it work. And so we have a lot of tools over the years. And so I've gone through and, like, I've used certain ones and he's like, babe, no, you need to do this. And so I've learned a few tricks and a few tips that I will be sharing with you today. So what do you actually need as far as tools? If you don't have tools, you're gonna get very creative with what you need. I know when we were first married, we had gotten a TV entertainment center and we had to put it together. Well, didn't have a hammer, didn't have any tools in the beginning of our marriage, and so had to use the back of an ice cream scooper as a nail. I think that scooper I kept that scooper for the longest time. It was used as a hammer to, you had to pound in the tiny nails in the back. So I was like, I kept that forever, and I'm like, it's a reminder that, you know what, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. And then also, if you don't have a screwdriver, you can use a butter knife, things like that. But tools you can pretty much get that are inexpensive and that will be helpful for your journey. So let me talk about price and kind. Now, you can go to Lowe's, Home Depot, and you can buy the most expensive ones. I don't even think I have anything. Dirt. I'm just trying to think the brand name. Like, you're going to go into Lowe's and Home Depot and you're going to see all these really expensive. You're going to go, the hammers are going to be $25, maybe $30. I don't even know. The screwdrivers are going to vary in price. You're going to be like, what do I even need? Let me share with you a tip. You don't buy at Lowe's and Home Depot, you can buy the cheapest. That'll be fine. Don't go like to the dollar store and buy hammers because they're just going to break. They're not going to be very good. Amazon has some basic tools on there as well, but you know who has got great quality tools for inexpensive price is Harbor Freight. If you have Harbor Freight near you, go there. Go there, ladies. They have got so many tools for a very inexpensive price, and they're good quality. So let me share with you what you should pick up. If you can go and buy one of those all-in-one toolkits, but you're gonna have a lot of stuff in there you're never gonna use, and you're gonna lug this thing around and be like, what is this even for? Just picking up a few things, this is what you're gonna need. Now, you could use other things. These are just things that I found have been effective in the home. A hammer. Get yourself a hammer. Mine is, look at it, this is rusty because, you know, we live in Florida, we left it outside, and that's what happens when your husband's working. Get yourself a mini hammer. Don't worry about the big giant one. The big giant one's great for like big jobs because you need all of that, you know, motion to be able to drive the hammer in. But if you're not doing big giant jobs, you just got little things like putting things together, get yourself a small hammer. A small hammer will do great for your job. You may never use it, but when you need it, you need it. So a small hammer, this is one tool you'll need. Okay, another thing you can use are screwdrivers. Now, there's what I call them star and a straight screwdriver. I think it's a Phillips and a flathead is the correct terminology for screwdrivers. Again, my husband uses these for everything. There is a huge difference in screwdrivers. I did not know this at all. Screwdrivers have a lot of different tips. You have thin tips, you have wide tips, you have these star ones right here, and if you look at them, this one's a little bit fatter, this one's a little bit thinner, and when you're screwing in furniture and you use this one right here, it's got a pointed tip, it's just kind of spinning in that screw. It is going to go on 10 times harder unless you get the right one to screw things in. Did not know that, and I'm like, why is this so difficult? It's all about the tips, ladies. So again, another thing to remind you on screwdrivers, these ones are good. What I like about these ones right here, these are magnetic. I had no idea. Sometimes I'll put furniture together and the screws will stick to the end of the screwdriver, and I'm like, oh, this is genius. And I'm thinking, you know, what a great phenomenon. Well, they do have screwdrivers. These ones right here are magnetic. Awesome. That's something you need. That's something, if you can find the magnetic screwdriver tip, that's what you want. Now remember, sometimes when you screw things in, the screw is not going to necessarily be able to stick to it because it's going to be a different kind of metal, but most of the time it will, and that will save you. So get yourself some screwdrivers with the magnet tips. So this will come in a set, and you'll have a whole bunch of different kinds, and you're like, do I really need to keep them? You will, unfortunately, because you're going to have all different kinds of screw heads, unfortunately, in your home. You're going to find in a home that there is like, why are screws not uniform? I don't understand that concept, but I mean, I guess you need it for reasons. So get yourself these. So this is simple to have. Okay, another, get the flathead one too. This is flat. See how it's, I mean, even though it's rounded. Flathead Phillips. Is that the name, or is, I call it a star. I'm going to tell you guys this, and I'm going to be totally wrong. Phillips flathead. Okay, so what I like for my kitchen, one of my viewers got us a screwdriver a long time ago. It was like this, but we don't have that one specifically anymore because we had to use it for blah, blah. Greg got me another one. This is great because look, it's got the star. Pull it out and look, it's got the straight one. This is good for like mostly all your generic things. So if you want just like one, get one of these. Get the grippy. It's a whole lot easier to grab than the smooth one. And get one where you can change this out. That's kind of a nice feature. So you can just put it in, you can use it. You can pretty much, these come with any kind that kind of fit all around, most of them. But if you're gonna be doing a little bit of jobs, you can get a set. Okay, so that's one option for it. Another option for your screwdriver is to get a drill. But you know what? Something that I need that, oh, where's my one? I'm losing one, hold on. Hold on one second. I had to go get my drill piece. Okay, so Harbor Freight also has cheap drills. You can get one for like $25. That's how much they used to be. I don't know what they are now. You think, I don't really need anything for a drill, but they make great screwdrivers because you can go to Harbor Freight and get yourself a drill, 20 bucks. I had one, it lasted for years for what I needed. And Greg had to do it for more like work on the house, and it died, but that was a lot more heavier work. So normal stuff, it'll be fine. And then you can go to their section, ask somebody if you don't know, and say you need the screwdriver tips that go into the drill. And there'll be a pack, and it'll be, this is just one of them. There'll be tons. They have color-coded ones. It's great. They're like $5. I laugh because when we were in Harbor Freight, we had purchased a kit like that. And we don't have one near us, so it's kind of, I mean, it's like an hour away. No big deal. We just don't ever go that direction. So when we moved in, we bought one, or we thought we bought one because we have so many different projects. And I'm like, where's all the screwdriver tip heads? And like, I have no idea where it went. It like literally disappeared. And so I'm like, where is this at? And so when we found a video where we had it, and I'm like, we did buy the screwdriver tips. I just have no idea where they're at. So They're like $5 and you can get them, and what you can do is you take your drill here. Okay, so it's gonna have a battery, you can charge it, it's awesome. How you install these, this right here, twist ladies, this goes inside and you just tighten it right here. Twist, 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 and look at that till it clicks, look at, now it's tight, and then you can use it as a drill. This right here is a lifesaver. When I first started doing furniture way back in the day with these things, you can do it. Your hand's gonna kill after a while. You're gonna be so tired of it. Get yourself a drill. But one of my viewers told me that Sam's Club has a cordless screwdriver. I haven't been there to see it yet, about $20. I'm hoping to get that when I go to Sam's Club, because it's nice. This is great, but sometimes when you get in different areas, it's a little bit bulky to get into, and I'm like, it'd be so nice to have a screwdriver. So look at Sam's. I think she said $20, $25. So that's a great thing. I did not know about that. This is what we've used over the years, and you just use the tips. That works really good. Another thing to have is a smaller screwdriver set. Now this is not a complete set because I have boys and they like to screw things in. It looks like this. This is from Harbor Freight as well. I think it's Pittsburgh is their name. Real cheap. I'm gonna say $8, something like that. It used to be $8. I don't know what it is now. This is nice because it has tiny screwdriver heads. You'll find you're gonna need to screw something that's little, and you're gonna be like, this big giant screwdriver does not work because it's so huge. This small one works great. It's one of those things where you like, oh, wish you had this, until you don't. So get yourself one of these. That's your part. Those are your screwdriver things, okay? You're not gonna really have nails too often because everybody uses a screwdriver. Another thing you're gonna need is a level. Now I think you can have a level on your phone. Pretty sure there's apps for your phone that you can use as a level. Are they as accurate as a real level? I don't know. I'm not like a worker to know that, but this will work when you're hanging pictures, when you're hanging things. This is very, very helpful. I did not do this for many years, and I'd stand back and look, and I can't see if it's straight or not. It's not my gifting, and I'm like, it would take my husband be like, I think that's crooked, and I'm like, and he's got like that, he deals in like 0.001 tolerances all day long, knowing, you know, if something's straight or if it's not. So I don't see it. I'm like, I don't even know if that's right or not. So a level will help, and you can just line it up this way. You can line it up this way, depending on how you have it. It's great, the little bubble. That's what you follow when you're doing something. So a level is a great thing. Okay, wire cutters. These are pretty advanced ones. You can just get simple ones, and more for what I found I use wire cutters for, not really to cut wire or anything in my house, but to cut floral things. When you're bringing flowers, you know, like fake ones, fake flowers into your house, you can't cut those with scissors. You can, ladies. You can take scissors, you can twist to break it off, but get yourself some wire cutters. These are huge, and these are these are Craftsman. They're gonna be a lot more. You can buy, I think Hobby Lobby even sells them. They're like $2, $3, little wire cutters, but they look like this. They cut wires. I think the Hobby Lobby ones are colorful, but the metal you can cut. You need one of those. That's a good thing to cut through that kind of stuff. And then get yourself a box cutter. This is great. This one's rusty because we've been using it to cut open your boxes. That's a great thing to have. You need one of these. There, you can get these on Amazon. I think I got this with another one. It's bigger. I've given it to them in the garage for like, I don't know, $5. They're not very much. This works great. These blades come out. I need to replace mine. I can push this and this blade comes out. Oh, look at, watch what you can do. Flip it around. So when you have the rusty part, you can flip it around. Oh, look at that. I didn't even fix it myself. Look at, now it's brand new. I'm pretty sure this came with blades as well. You can put them in there. Razor blades. That's something I found I have used over the years. And then pliers. Now, I think on my list I've recommended doing like adjustable wrench. I can honestly say I don't think I've ever used an adjustable wrench myself. I have, you know, when it's helpful is no, it's not helpful because you get it on there. If it's not on there just right, it slips and moves, and so it's not unless you know what you're doing. So skip that. Get yourself these. This is I think these are needle nose pliers to hold something. The wrenches they have, these are definitely worn. They have these where you can like do a little screw here. They're called adjustable, and they get a little bit wider. Those are helpful if you have to hold something wide. Sometimes you get two pieces. I'm trying to think like the toilet piece. That's an example. Old school toilet. You have the screwdriver on the top. You twist it, and the nut spins around as you're spinning. So this helps to go underneath, hold the nut, and twist the head of the toilet on. If you have an old school one, I'm just thinking, what have I ever used that for? That works really well. Sometimes you have to go in and grab things. This works good to pull it out. So pliers works good. So either one, I mean, you can modify, use this. It just kind of slips if it's not that big. So if you get a little bit wider one, these aren't even that wide, but this is what I found in the garage. So those as far as tools are great. This is something I just pulled up today because it was sitting on my counter. Get yourself a fly swatter. They have all those fancy gadgets like a fly swatter, like electric fly swatter, or people suck them into their vacuum. I'm like, get one of these. Like, this is broken, like $2 at Walmart. $2, probably the dollar store. Hang it somewhere, you're always going to have it. Mine hangs in my pantry of all places. I have a screw and I hang it up. That's where it goes. Everybody knows to return it there, because you get flies. Flies happen. They're part of life. So you can go through and you can smack them. You can even do it to spiders. You just got to be quick, ladies. So get yourself a fly swatter. I know that's not really a tool, but it is a tool used in your home. And I feel like if you have this right here, you're good to go. You can also go and get like a little set of like screws and nails, things like that. But I have found most of that stuff, those kits they sell, you don't really end up using. So if you have a project that needs something, you're better to go off when you go out to the store and get it when you need it. And then save those. If you got extra screws, you got little things, save them for the future. Oh wait, tape measure. You need a tape measure. That's something you do need. Now I have the material ones, and they're like retractable. Those are okay. And Greg's like, no, it's not as accurate as a tape measure, honey. So get yourself a tape measure. Again, you can buy one cheap. Get one of these. Don't let your kids play with it, because they'll pull this out all the time and swing it back. And then they'll pull it out so much it never goes back inside. So don't let your little kids play with it. I have over the years, and that's why I'm telling you, and that's why it's ruined. So get yourself one of these. This is nice. Get the bigger one, because you are going to measure something one day and you're going to wish that you had one of these. So get yourself a tape measure. Now let's talk about learning. As homemakers, there's always something that you can learn in your home, and the best way to be a great manager of your home is to figure out the little things that you can fix inside. Now if you have a male figure or even a woman figure that's really good at like household repairs and things like that, pay attention. Watch them while they're doing something so you can learn things. And then you know what? If not, YouTube is amazing for tons and tons of practical, real life little repairs that you can do. And these will be things that you might think, oh, I don't ever need to do that. Oh, you will. You are going to need to tighten your doorknob one day. You're going to go to open it, and it's going to be loose, and you're going to be like, oh my goodness, and the whole knob's going to fall off because you didn't bother to tighten it. When things get loose like that, get yourself a screwdriver, tighten it. You can Google search on YouTube how to tighten a doorknob. There are people out there. I love that they have channels. There's a lot. I know there's one that it's an older gentleman, and I don't know if it's Love Your Dad or what it's called, but he just goes on and he does things that maybe your dad never taught you, and I'm here to teach you. And I'm like, what a genius thing. So plenty of things out there. So how to tighten doorknob, you may need to know how to do that one day. You might have a hole in the wall and you need to know how to patch it. Like right here, we have moved in and there's all these little holes. We have not even painted or done anything. But when you go to do things, you can figure out how to fill the holes in, especially if you're renting or maybe you're in another home. There's lots of little things that you can figure out. So getting all those supplies beforehand, you don't really need to wait till you actually do the job and figure out what you do, but watch a bunch of videos. Watch one, then watch a couple, and then go, okay, what is going to be the easiest for me? Like a basic home repair. Back in the day, we had books. That was it. Books to learn from. There was no videos. So you guys got the wonderful information to be able to look on a video. And if you don't have access to the internet, but since you're watching this video, you probably do, the library's got tons of books. There are books and things written out there that have all of theirs. Used to get basic household repairs, and there would be a step-by-step book written for how to do all of that. But I think the internet's replaced all of that now. But if not, go to your local library and get yourself a book like that. They are there. And remember, if you don't know how to do something, ask for help. If you don't think you can take on, don't just go, oh, I can't do it, like tightening a doorknob. Don't go, I can't do it. No. Get your screwdriver, look at a video how to do it, and go, okay, I can do this. And then attempt to do it. Now, if you're doing it and the screw is stripping and spinning and it's not getting any tightener, okay, stop what you're doing. So watch the video, see if they say anything on that, and then you know what? Ask someone for some help. There's usually always someone that will help with things. If you obviously got to know your limitations, but don't just give up and be wimpy. Wimpy, I'm saying that in a nice way. Wimpy, like right away. Like try to get in there and see if that's something you can do. But if it really is over your head and you don't know how to do it, all right, ask for some help. Don't be afraid to do it, and go slow. Go slow. For myself, I've got a lot of kids, and I've had zero time in my life for most of my life. And so when I had a project, I got to get it done, and I got to get it done fast, because boom, 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 boom. Well, sometimes that's bad for you, because you find that if you hurry through something and you don't take your time, things do happen and go wrong. So to fix that, go slow, take your time, and get it done. I've learned that I have not always, and I've hurried through projects, and I'm like, I wish I would have taken the time, but you know what? Gotta do what you gotta do. All right, let's talk gardening outside. Now, this is gonna be one of those things only if you enjoy doing it or if you don't. Back in the day, when I wrote this book, I wrote down that I enjoy gardening. I don't enjoy gardening. I I've learned to know that I don't enjoy doing it. We did it back in the day. Back in the day, we had a lot of little kids. We had the garden, we had the rototiller, we did all that. I thought I enjoyed it. And as I've grown and gotten older, I'm like, I really don't enjoy it. It is not relaxing. It is not fun. It is more stress. I will do it. I have no problem doing it, but it's just something I don't enjoy doing very much. I had some pots here and was growing things, and I'm like, oh, it was fun to come out and see it, but after they failed and all this work, I'm like, it's really not fun for me. So I have a little pot out that I have outside. It's got my green onions in it. It grows. I love that. I enjoy that, but a lot of women do enjoy that. So wait till you actually see if you enjoy doing something like that. Get yourself some gardening gloves. That's something I didn't purchase right away. Get gardening gloves. Save yourself lots and lots of scrubbing on your hand. If not, you're going to have to get a nail brush to get the dirt under your hands out. Whatever you want to do, get the gloves. It just saves you. And then you'll get like a little set with a little hand trowel, that kind of stuff, so you can garden and plant if you enjoy doing that. But don't just go out and buy it just because. See if that's something you really want to do. And then as far as yard work goes, again, it depends on your home and your situation. If you have people come and do your grass for you, you might not need anything, and that's great. But if you have to do it yourself, let me give you some advice, something I have learned over the years and what we've had, because we've had to cut grass for a long, long time. We have had the gas lawnmowers. We've had those things over the years. You know what I found that they have now that probably would be the best if I was a single lady and had to cut my own grass? I would not mess with the engines. No, ladies, I would not, because there's always something that goes wrong with the engines. Always. It seems like the carburetor is yucky, or you got to do something with the gas, or it's out of gas, or it's out of this. You know what works great now is the electric ones. They have electric everything now. I would buy electric. We have electric everything now that we live in a city in a smaller yard. It just is better. It does wear down quicker, and you're probably gonna have to replace the battery, but if you are a woman, you're at home, get yourself electric. Even if you're a man, we got electric. My husband's a man. We have electric. It just works better. Again, go to Harbor Freight. We have found Harbor Freight has good quality. We have their lawnmower, and it works great for our yard. We don't have a huge yard, but we do have a bigger yard to cut, more than I thought we'd ever have here in Florida. And so get yourself an electric lawnmower, and then you can get yourself a weed whacker. That's something you're going to need. We didn't always have one in the beginning. I remember being a new bride, going out to my yard with scissors. I did, and cut with scissors around the house, because you can only cut so far. Ours, you'll see it growing. I don't even know. We have to cut our grass. Ours, you can see it growing coming up the fence. You're going to need something to cut that. So unless you want to be out there with a pair of scissors cutting it, because it looks bad after a while, you can leave it for a little bit, but you're going to have to cut it and make it look nice. You're going to use scissors. So that works out really well. A weed whacker. And the only, or edger they call it. And so the only problem is you got to learn how to put the string inside. It's not hard. It seems difficult, ladies, but it's not. If you do a couple videos on it, you'll be able to see how it works, and maybe someone can show you how to do it, and it can get you in there. I promise you that's something you're going to use. And then, you know what's great is a leaf blower. That is something else I think is a great positive thing to have for blowing off your porches, blowing these things off. I don't mind a broom. We've had brooms over the years, but it doesn't get all the dirt. Leaf blower, blow it real quick and blow it off, and you'll be all set to go. So those, and again, it depends on your yard and what you have and what you have to clean up. If you don't have to do any of it, let somebody else do it. But if it's something you have to take care of, look for electric. It might be, I don't even think it's much more. I think it's probably cheaper, or is it more? I don't even know, but I'm sure they've come down in price. But look, check Harbor Freight's got good quality ones. We bought our lawnmower from Harbor Freight. We bought our weed whacker from Home Depot, just because we have a lot to weed whack, and we have to edge our house as well for our HOA rules. But for the most part, just get yourself that. Now those work better. I think the gas one works way better. They're more powerful, but you're gonna have to worry about gas. You're gonna have to worry about the transmission clogging up. You're gonna have to worry about, or whatever that is. I'm gonna say transmission. I feel like I always remember them rebuilding the carburetor, rebuilding the not the transmission, carburetor. I don't even know. There's something they had to rebuild almost every single year on the weed whacker or on the lawnmower. So skip yourself all that stress and just get yourself electric. You gotta buy a battery. That's the worst you gotta do, is buy a battery. It works. And then whatever else, it depends on what you have in your yard. We don't have many leaves in our yard. We have lived in Michigan where it was leaf season a lot in the fall, and you had to rake. Now we lived in the country, so we really didn't rake our yard. We just let it naturally, the wind carry it wherever it was. We didn't have to pick up. And then we moved to the mountains. Mountains, again, full of leaves. We had a yard in our first house, it was a rental house, and we had to rake the yard. There was a lot of leaves we had to rake. It was a lot of raking. And so then we moved on a mountain, and I was like, let the leaves decompose back into the earth and turn back into dirt. But my husband liked to rake through it at least once a year, so there was a lot of leaves, a lot of raking. We had to do a whole lot there. I was like, oh my goodness. I think my kids, we moved to Florida now, and we don't have to do any, we have no yard. We have no leaf cleanup because leaves don't fall here. They do a little bit, but not enough to like rake them. And so I told my younger boys, I'm like, you guys will never experience raking leaves on the side of a mountain, because I remember all of our kids outside with rakes, and we'd rake them down the mountain. It was like an day's task. And so I'm thankful not to do that, but it depends on where you're at. If you have to do leaves, you might need a little rake to kind of pick things up. Get yourself the plastic wider kind is going to be easier. The metal ones are good too. I think plastic, from personally opinion, works good. It just depends on, you might have to get out of your flower beds, and maybe the metal ones would be a little bit easier, like they're like flimsy ones. But again, only buy if you need it. Shovels, same thing outside, picking up dog mess, digging a hole, but you really probably don't need to do too much of that kind of work in your yard until you have a project. So don't even bother buying those unless it's something you need. Okay, you're gonna need a hose. That's something else you're gonna need. It's one of those things that I think we overlook forever, and I'm like, we need a hose to wash your car. Nowadays, you can pretty much go to any car wash to your car, so you don't have to worry about it, but it is nice to have a hose so you can like rinse off your porch or wash things down. And so getting a good hose is a good thing. Buy a better quality one, especially if you're gonna be somewhere. If you can invest once instead of buying it multiple times. The thinner ones, cheaper ones, get broken much more. And I talked to someone that has had to buy multiple hoses over the years. I have found that the thicker ones work better. They're just nicer. So you don't have to buy most expensive, but buy mid-grade. It'll last you longer. If you can get a hose reel, those are hard sometimes, they break up. But if you can get some kind of like attachment to your house, where you can hook them up on your house to keep it off the ground, that's kind of a nice thing. Hose reels are fine. I always see hose reels in people's trashes. We had one too. They just break over time. So just get something to hang up, like it's like a metal wrought iron thing you can put inside your house, and you can wind up your hose on that. Get yourself a sprayer head as well. Stay away from plastic, keep metal, those work good. Okay, something random, little thoughts for taking care of your home. Get yourself some rugs that you can place inside your door and outside your door. It's the little things. It really, really is. We live many places. The mountains are much more dirtier than here in Florida, and we constantly had dirt going in and out of our house. And I would have times where the rugs would get ruined, so I'd throw them away and I wouldn't replace them, and I realized how much extra dirt came inside. So having a rug outside your door and one inside your door is helpful. If you can get the rubberized ones for outside, I found that those ones that you can kind of, like the brown ones where you can kind of scrape the dirt up, those work really well. The only problem is sometimes they get worn out, but they do work good. Instead of having like a material one outside, you want more, especially if you don't have a covered porch. The rubbery ones are fine, but like, the brown grass, I call them brown grassy ones. Those are nice for collecting dirt. It depends on your door and how much space. Get the bigger one, smaller one. We have covered porches, so mine last longer, but in the mountains, they did not, and it seemed like every season I'd have to buy a new rug for outside. You just gotta do what you gotta do, and then inside get ones that you can wash. That's nice to have. If you don't really, in the mountains we had bigger ones by the door because it was constant dirt, constant traffic coming in, so I had a bigger one. I just knew it was going to be getting dirty all the time. So now I just have lighter ones at each door because I can throw them in the washer and wash them very easily. I think ours, we've had them for over a couple years here. Mountains, we had to wash so much more. There's just more dirt. Florida City, we just don't have that kind of dirt anymore. So depending on your situation, the amount of dirt and stuff that you're going to have, that will collect a whole lot of dirt that's going to go through your house, I promise. Okay, some of these are going to be random tips that I've learned over the years. If you got batteries, I would suggest replacing your batteries with rechargeables. Regular batteries are good, and I find that I need a regular battery for like my camera because my microphone needs a battery. The higher quality electronic stuff like that, buy yourself a regular battery. Rechargeables, it just doesn't last as long. And so, but if everything else, use rechargeable batteries. They are so much better. Again, Harbor Freight is always my go-to because they have like good quality stuff for inexpensive, but we don't have one here. So you know what, Amazon's got a great bunch of those. We get a whole big pack of rechargeable batteries on Amazon, and we buy the charger, and you know what, we just circulate them through. We have a bowl of charged ones, and then when kids are, they bring me especially with video game controllers, they always use batteries, then they're responsible to bring them, put them on the charger, and get them charged. That works really good. And then here's a few tips with batteries. Your batteries start dying here. See, Amazon Basic. Actually, these are not rechargeables because I needed to buy these for we have the laser tag, and I had to buy a bunch of them, so I just bought these. So I don't use them for anything else but this. But let's say your battery won't start dying. Okay, and then you don't have any batteries. Take your batteries. Sometimes I've found that if you just twist it, sometimes the contact area just gets a little corroded with stuff and it doesn't work anymore. So if you kind of twist it, sometimes it'll work for a little bit. Or another trick to do is take the battery out and kind of use an emery board and file on top of the battery. I know, just the head part of it. And then put it back in and see if you can get it to work again. Usually it lasts for a little bit longer than put on your list, battery. And I found that I usually just always have a pack of AA batteries on hand because that's something I use all the time for my camera, but also the boys use a lot of rechargeable batteries for their video game controllers. So we have a lot of AA's. I have some AAA's, but I don't really have, I saw the remote has the AAA's, but I'm thinking, I don't think we have anything else that has AAA batteries in it. We do have them for not Gorilla Tag, the laser tag the kids have, but we haven't had to replace those too much. So get some batteries on hand, but don't worry about stockpiling too many. Okay, another random tip, coolers. Before you go to store your coolers, I don't know what you have in your home. We have had many over the years. We lived in the mountains, we lived in Michigan, we lived here in Florida. In Florida here, I've gotten rid of all my bigger coolers because we just don't use them as much. When we go places, we have smaller cooler bags, and you just don't go that long outside because it's just hot. So, but in the mountains we would go for long extended trips, and so we'd have these big giant coolers that we would take, and we'd always fill them up, and we had a lot of younger kids too. So when you go to store your coolers, when you're done, okay, make sure they're dry inside for one, and then take a cotton ball, put a little bit of tea tree oil, and stick it inside your cooler before you close it and store it. It just helps get rid of that yucky smell that will smell yucky over time. Before, you know, when you go to open it, it's like a whole lot better than that. Or get it so, it depends on where you store it at as well. If you have it in a place that nothing's gonna crawl in there, then maybe leave it cracked open so it can always have some air circulation. But if you got to store it in a garage or somewhere, do the tea tree oil in a cotton ball and you can close it, and then then nothing crawls inside either. And I was showing you nail holes on the wall. Back in our house is blue, so I can't really do that here, but in our other house it had white walls in different areas of our home, and if there's nail holes, I would take a little dab of toothpaste and wipe it in those holes. White toothpaste, mind you. Now, if I'm going to go hang a picture up, I know there's a ton of hacks and things you can do to make sure you can hang your picture properly on the wall. I know I've like so many over the years I've watched, I'm like, wow, that's genius. I personally take where the hooks are on the picture frame, and I put a dab of toothpaste on them. And what I do is I go up to the wall and I see where I'm going to put it, and I make sure everybody stands back and looks at it, and I press it against the wall, and then take it away, and then there's a dab where the toothpaste is on your wall. Now my husband would show me to measure it out and do it properly. I think these ones in the kitchen, I measured everything out and did it that way. It just takes way longer. If you don't mind doing longer, do longer, measure everything, make it perfect. That's a good way to do it too, but stick some toothpaste on the back, have somebody stand back and look at it, get your level, make sure it looks good, press it up against the wall, and then the toothpaste sticks to the wall, and good to go. You can even do like a piece of paper, and the paper will stick to the wall, and you can figure out where to drill or put your screw in to hang them. Those are just a little tip from me to make it a little easier. Okay, coming to the laundry room because we're talking sewing supplies. Now, I have done the sewing thing. I don't enjoy that either. I don't enjoy gardening. I don't enjoy sewing. I like doing a lot of other areas, but just those two are not my favorite. I had the sewing machine. I sewed blankets and quilts and even clothing for my children back in the day, but I just do not like doing it. I don't. So I avoid sewing if possible. My mom was a sewer, and whenever we had repairs or something to sew, I'd be like, Mom, would you fix this for me? And she just loved doing that because she loved doing sewing. I do not. So if I have a repair, I either choose not to purchase the outfit if I need it, or the outfit goes away. I know, unfortunately, but I did just buy some clothing. I just went thrifting and bought some dresses, and I had to fix them because I liked them. I sewed the straps, and I was like, I can do this without a sewing machine. So a few things to have on hand. I don't even think it's over here. Usually I keep it in there. I think Stephen is my sewer. He likes sewing different things and creating, you know, action figures, things like that, and sewing them outfits. Very skilled at that, thank goodness, not from his mama. So get yourself some thread, okay? Don't do the cheapy thread. Go to like, even Walmart has good thread. Cheapy, like a dollar store, it just breaks easier. Walmart, get yourself some white, black thread. 2 colors, okay? A light and a dark. If you want to have a blue in there and a tan, go ahead, but most everything, white or dark. And then when you sew something, if it's lighter, use white. If it's darker, use dark. Get yourself a pack of sewing needles. Make sure that they're for not sewing machine, but sewing needles. And they have a bunch of different sizes in there, depending on the thickness of your material. The smaller, skinnier ones are going to be for a lighter material, like say a silky kind of dress. Thicker ones are going to be something a little bit heavier that you're going to have to go through, like jean material, which is really hard to do, or just a heavier material. So get those items. If you can keep a pair of scissors that are only for use for sewing, do it. I never have been able to, and I know my mom has never, because she would have, I still remember my mom's scissors. And I know it's not just me, my scissors disappear all day long in my kitchen, and I laugh. I'm like, where's my scissors? I put pairs multiple places in the kitchen, and they just disappear over time. But I remember my mom having a pair of orange handled scissors in the kitchen, and she put a piece of tape on it and put, for kitchen use only. And then she had some in her sewing room, and she's like, for sewing only because once somebody cuts it on paper or something, it ruins it. You can never cut material again. So if you can get it, again, depends on your sewing. I wish I had one pair dedicated here. I don't, because I went to sew my dress and I'm like, it'd be so much easier to cut this material if I had sewing scissors, because it would cut it so much smoother. So if you can, great, hide them, hide them. I'm gonna give you a tip, hide those scissors, but keep even a small pair, because you might have a little repair that needs to be done, and it's easy to do. Like, it really is. There's a lot of videos out there with very simple stitches you can do. If I can sew them simple, you can too. Let me show you a tip. If you got a button that fell off, if it's on a coat, a heavier coat, thread is good, it'll work, but it's probably gonna fall off again. So use dental floss. I know, it sounds crazy. A heavier coat, or even jeans if you got buttons, use dental floss and sew it. It'll be so much better to stay on. It really does work. They recommend having a set of buttons around, but in reality, most clothing has an extra button on the inside usually. So if you lost a button on it, like one of your husband's shirt, check the inside of the shirt. There's probably an extra one on there, and if not, look at another one. You'll probably find the button. And then look up some videos on how to sew simple stitches. There's ladies out there that probably enjoy, and probably men that enjoy sewing, that will show you a very simple stitch to fix things. So doing those simple things is it's a good thing to do. There's a lot of people I know, my friends would take all their clothing, they have piles and piles, and they take it and send it to somebody else to fix. And I'm like, that's something you can do real quick, but it's just whatever you can do. So simple things like that. So some thread, needles, and that's scissors. That's about all you need. If you want to have extra, go ahead, but you really will never use anything else unless there's like a specific project. And as with all these videos, it is not about having that Pinterest-worthy garage or toolbox that you have. I know a lot of people go for aesthetic, but we want to go for like real life preparedness, because if you need that screwdriver, you're like, oh my goodness, a screwdriver, and you gotta run to the store and go get it. But if you have it at home, it's very helpful. Remember, this is not knowing how to do everything yourself, but if you can learn how to plant a few flowers, sew on a button for your husband, or to straighten a photo or something on your wall, those are good skills to have under your tool belt, ladies, because life is going to throw something at you one day, and to be a little bit prepared and to be able to go, I got you, I can fix that. That's a good thing. It's all about making your house a place of function and order. And it also helps build some confidence. And confidence when you're homemaking matters. So don't be afraid to learn, don't be afraid to ask questions, and don't be afraid to try, mess up, and do it again. And remember, all of this homemaking, it's a journey. You're not expected to know everything the first day. Like I said, I've learned many things over the years. I failed at many things over the years and went, oh, I didn't know that over the years, or wow, I've learned a lot of things. But learning is your key. You want to improve your skills, so improve your skill sets. That's when you're going to be successful, because you're growing and you're building, you're becoming a keeper of your home. And that is a very noble task. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Remember, as always, I've got freebies for you, so link below is some freebies to do with simple household things, just things that can help. You can print them off, add them to your household binder if you'd like. And I'm proud of you for taking the time to grow your skills and for preparing your heart and your home. Remember, keep going, keep learning. You've got this. Okay, I'll see you again. Bye.